Kate is a mum and a filmmaker, so I shall allow you to introduce yourself. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Kate Jangra.
Hi, I'm Kate. I personally believe that children under 5 don't need it. That's my belief. I think that babies are born with a Stone Age brain. I think we all are. I think we need to address that, and we need to give them eye contact. We need to give them touch. They need to learn about moving. They need to look at the world. They need to taste mud. They need to understand the real world before they can understand a virtual world. So human interaction and social learning. Why do I limit my children with exposure to any kind of screen? Personally, I think that it affects normal brain development and cognitive functioning of very young children. We don't know the long-term harm of excessive screen time. We just don't know it. It's a new technology. Someone's already said that. We don't know. It is addictive. I know that. I played Sonic the Hedgehog was my first ever game when I was 17. I didn't do anything until I finished that game, and I vowed to myself I'd never do it again. That's just my experience. But I think lots of people say it's addictive. It's disruptive. It messes with your sleep patterns. It messes with the way you eat, and it is full of, it helps to disrupt your eating. Instant gratification, I think, sets us up with unrealistic expectations of a real world. I think that once you've seen a screen and what you can do on there, it's difficult to then replicate that in the real world. So I just think it sets up unrealistic expectations in the real world. I think it's a huge advertising. It's huge. I mean, of course, there's a massive market out there. So I think that the advertisers are marketing to an innocent and gullible audience. And I think that is something that as a parent you want to kind of really keep your eye on, and it's difficult to keep your eye on 24/7 if your child's using all kinds of things. It's a great indoor versus outdoor debate. I don't know if you've heard the expression nature deficit disorder. I personally think that children need to fall in love with nature first, because they're going to be looking after our world for us, or something like that, before computers are. We've got a childhood obesity epidemic, we've got a childhood diabetes type 2 epidemic, high blood pressure, asthma, there's ADD and ADHD links to early screen use. It's everywhere. I can't get away from it. Even when I try, that's my 2 children walking past the shop. It's interesting. What's screen time? Now, it was very interesting this whole thing before, because I haven't put coding down there. I've just put TV and film, smartphones, video games, tablets and handheld devices. I haven't put coding and all kinds of things. I think they're very compelling talks about children that can really kind of take hold of technology, and I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying that, how I see it is just those things, and it's immersion. Is there a difference between passive and active screen time? Yeah, I think there is, and this is something that we should all talk about. I think there's a lot of justification towards using screens. It is a virtual babysitter. I mean, I've used it as that, and I didn't like it, which is why I don't anymore, and I won't. But it does free up our time and attention to do things we want to do. We seem to be on an uphill struggle getting our children to be educated and to learn as quickly. So we think giving them a device and putting them in front of it might be a good way to get them to learn quicker. Affluenza, I think, is a big problem. Again, it's the whole consumption thing. I can afford it, why not? My friends can afford it, why not? We can all do it, why not? I think there's a lot of guilt around bringing up children today, because there's never enough time for anything. And so give them a device and, wow, I've shown them something really exciting and they're loving it and they're doing it a lot, so that's great. Tomorrow's world. I mean, we're in tomorrow's world today. I think that, it's quite a funny slide, really. I use it, so they should be able to use it too. You can see where I'm going there. I think that, I obviously showed that I couldn't use it, so that's not really working. But so the takeaway for this is, I would just say I'd limit your use if you've got children on your computers for less than 1 hour a day, but that's just an opinion. I'd say supervise and help them to understand the marketeers' tactics. I think that's really, really important. And I'd say ration yourself too. because they're mimics, and if we're all like this all the time, then children are going to be like that all the time, and we don't really have an argument to say you can't. So that's my slide.
These are real issues for real parents, and today is a day of talks, of shared experiences and inspiration for parents by parents.
First of all, don't overpraise your children for success. Secondly, don't over-rescue them, particularly don't over-rescue your girls. Thirdly, and this is a big cliche around at the moment, allow them to be bored, because boredom is the engine of imagination.
A year or so after the bullying started, 8-year-old me, that was when I discovered programming properly. And it was a new world of things for me to explore, things to learn, and problems to solve. You say Minecraft is like crack for children? I'm not surprised that people love it so much.
The one thing that we worry about only is the amount of screen time they have. And we've had the rules, we try to be consistent when we rewrite them. And then along came this game called Minecraft.
This is an exercise where you ask where dad just gets to be completely controlled. Lift your left arm, take a step forward.
I don't make a big distinction. It's just, screens are just part of the environment. They're a bigger and bigger part. I can't imagine why anyone would restrict access to them.
I personally believe that children under 5 don't need it. That's my belief.
The supervision is also very important to talk about what it is that they are thinking about, what are they exposed to, and how can we address that with the young person.
I'm going to talk to you a bit about creativity, but I'm also going to talk to you about technology and how it kind of changed my life.
Do you want to join in? You'd have to. Trouble is, you have to give the iPad away. You have to give the iPad away.
I saw that and thought, hang on, schools are teaching creativity out of children. We have a system. So what we're announcing today, we want to call it the STEAM Co. The STEAM company, the STEAM co-creation, the STEAM collaborators, whatever we want co to mean. And we want to get other schools to do this, to try what we've done. We want to build a body of parts. So if you want to get in hold of it.
I'm going to start from the premise that kids love making things.
I'm going to tell you a strategy that is practical and effective. Practical means you can do it. Effective means it works.
Thank you all very, very much. Thank you for all our speakers. All the parents are standing up. But most of all, thank you. Thank you guys.